is we'll talk about raising prices and things. And the question is, how do you know if you're undercharging? Well, there are three very simple ways to tell. Okay, there are a lot more actually. I can think of about a dozen off the top of my head, but we'll talk about the main three because these are the obvious ones. The others are not so obvious and require that someone like me with a brain the size of an autistic planet to figure them out. The first one is dead easy. That is, you're too busy. You know, if you suddenly find yourself with a sudden influx of work for no apparent reason, and you're working really hard, and you are too swamped, and I know a lot of guys are, you know, that's a damn good chance you are undercharging because you're attracting loads of people. Now, if you temper that with the idea of we're getting a lot of work and it's not particularly good work and the clients are often, you know, not particularly good, that's a real fucking smoking gun. You're undercharging. Too busy. People, you know, I say it all the time on LinkedIn, even in the foundations group, people say I'm really busy at the moment. And my answer is always the same. If you're too busy, you're not charging enough.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Because, you know, you want to be driving some people away.
Yeah, if people aren't saying no,
yeah,
you're doing it wrong. You're never going to get 100% close rate, and it's stupid to think otherwise. Well, you probably could get 100% close rate if your prices are £1.
Yeah, and you don't. Yeah, that's it. You don't want 100% close rate. You know,
something is drastically wrong if you're closing every person you speak to.
Yeah. Well, the second thing is, I was going to come to that. The second big tell. First is you're too busy. The second is you're not getting any price resistance. So if people are saying no, but it's not about the price, there's something wrong somewhere. Now, you want people to be saying, no, that's too expensive. Of course, it's not too expensive. The fact is they just can't afford you, which is a very different thing. And if you say that to oh, it's not a prospective client at this point because they've said, no, if that's how you're too expensive, keep a straight face and you say, it's not, look, we're not too expensive at all. The fact is that you just can't afford us. You won't make yourself any friends, but hey, we're not in the game to make friends. We're in the game to make fucking money.
It's great saying that. It's fucking great saying that. Cool. You're fucking bloody expensive. No, you're just poor, cunt.
Yeah, you're just poor. I saw someone this morning posting on LinkedIn saying about how we shouldn't speak in those terms to and about people. And I just don't get it. I mean, it seems there's a certain school of thought saying if you are somehow not validating everyone all the time about everything, you are being a bully. That kind of thing, you know. And it fucking takes me back to, I mean, not when I was at school. When I was at school, we barely had school when I was at school, obviously, because I'm so old. But seriously, when I was back at school, things were a lot different from how they are now. To the extent, I mean, when I was 7 years old, I beat the shit out of the school bully, Dean Marlowe, literally kicked his teeth in. And at the time, no, I didn't get in trouble for it. I mean, it wasn't particularly well thought of, but I didn't get in trouble for it. I wasn't offered counselling or psychotherapy. Everyone knew he was a fucking bully and everyone knew he got what he deserved. Well, these days that wouldn't happen. At the very least, you'd probably be suspended. I was 7 at the time. You'd be suspended and you might even get the police involved and all kinds of counselling. And probably someone accused of saying, oh, are you sure your parents aren't touching you inappropriately because you seem troubled? No, I was being bullied by a fucking bloke, well, a kid, twice my fucking size. I've got a lucky kick in his nuts and put him on the floor. And I thought, fuck, I don't want him to get up because he'll kill me. So I kicked him in the face and carried on. You know? It's possible to overthink these things, and I didn't overthink that one. So things are all different these days.
There's also this connotation that poor is bad. Like when we say someone's poor, we're not necessarily saying they're a bad person. That is your problem.
We're just saying we don't want to work with them if they can't afford us.
We're not saying the wealth is your problem, but if you think the word poor means bad, and that anytime someone says, oh, they're poor, you're digging at them, you're a fucking idiot. You've got too much weight and emotion behind a fucking word.
Yeah, I mean, there are people out there who do this, but not many people, and certainly no one with any ounce of common sense walks past the Rolls Royce franchise, garage, whatever you like to call it, dealer, and says, "Oh, I should be allowed to have one of those, even though I can't afford one." You know, everybody with any, I mean, yeah, these left-wing collective fucktards, they do think this kind of shit, but they're stupid. But you know, anyone, and certainly any business owner with any modicum of success, does not walk around thinking I deserve to have that car, even though I can't afford it. They'll think, "Fuck, I'd love a Rolls Royce. What can I do to earn one?" You know, that's the word, earn. Become deserving of one. And again, you know, like you say, this is not about your worth as a human being. This is about how much money you've got to pay the fucking bill.
Yeah, the average small business owner will do far better selling to rich people versus trying to accommodate poor people. Yeah, not that poor people are terrible, but typically those with lots of money are easier to sell to, will pay higher prices
and make better clients,
pay for the experience, and they make far easier and far better clients. So
it's just true.
It's just true. There's no argument.
Is it fair? Probably not. Can we change it? No. Do we want to? I don't. I'm quite happy with it, even though I'm not particularly wealthy. I'm quite happy with it. You know, I wouldn't want to be a billionaire. I mean, I'd like the money, to be fair, but I'm not prepared to do what's required to do to make £1 billion. I'm just not. You know,
no way.
I'm just not. You can call me unambitious if you like, and I don't give a shit about that either. You know?
Fix your mindset.
Oh, please don't. Oh, I hate that shit.
Anyway, back to the original point. The three ways to tell you're undercharging.
First, you're too busy. The second is you don't get price resistance. And the third is your profits are going down. Yeah, you are. Now, this is a tricky one for some people because, as you know, we've spoken to at least one person with $1 million+ turnover who didn't even know if he was making a profit. I